People probably wonder, how could you ever get involved in a catfish love saga? Well, when the words are just the right frequency and you're in just the right mood and your heart is just the right amount of openness, um, and the words flow and the conversation flows, you can emotionally fall in love with somebody. And especially if they're really, really supportive. You just got out of like a breakup and you're just, um, really connecting with someone on an emotional and spiritual level. Um, my catfish relationship, there were red flags and I definitely saw them. But the curious person I am had to see, you know, what was going on. And so when I wrote Catfish a Love Story, I talk a little bit more about kind of maybe what was going on with me, and I added a little fact and fiction in there. And I added kind of what was going on with me emotionally and how I attracted these people. I was looking back on my life and all the relationships I had been in, and where there were red flags, but love always hopes, love always believes, love always endures. Love is like that. And so all of my relationships were catfishes, in one way or another. And so if you think it's hard to get in a catfish relationship just over online, it's not, because, all everybody is really looking for is a place to connect and feel seen and heard and loved and supported. And so if someone does that for you online and you don't meet them in person, but you talk to them, you see them, you speak with them, you share your dreams, you share your hopes, um, you know, you 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 start talking to them about things, and they hear you and they support you, and you know, they they just are there for you emotionally, especially if you're going through stuff and somebody always shows up, somebody's always complimenting you, and you're not really ready to meet them anyway. And so you can get in these conversations with people very deep. And so the way I wrote Catfish a Love Story it has fact and fiction of my family life, fact and fiction of my friend life, fact and fiction of how it was. But I also wrote it as like why I would be holding on to a connection of this sort. You hold on to certain connections because it strums the string that maybe you were used to in life in a certain way. It holds your attention a certain way where it doesn't bother you. And so it's a really good love story, and it's a mystery, and it's I didn't I didn't write everything in there, but it's a good story. And just for all you women there talking to people you never met, that's a need that obviously needed to be handled. And so I've talked to several women since I wrote this book. Even my friend's sister right now is talking to a catfish. And I'm like, isn't he nice? And she was like, yeah, well, I haven't met him yet. And he's in somewhere. I forgot where she said he was, but she hasn't met him, but she talks to him like all the time. And also my other friend's friend has a catfish. And so if you're in these types of relationships, maybe it's because you're hurt and you didn't want to connect with anybody else. And so when you found that mental connection, that was enough. Like, I literally got to a point where I was like, this is the perfect relationship. Like, I'm in my own bed at night with my son. Um, he's home. I don't have to worry about doing anything. I'm treated like a princess over the phone. Um, you know, this guy offered to like send me gifts, and there was so much to it, and I didn't write it exactly how it happened because I wanted to just make it more about like my experience of probably abandonment, I would say, but I wrote it in a different context. You'll have to read the book. You'll have to get a copy. It's coming out soon. It took a little longer because it wasn't over, and I had to add. I had to add because I found out some things, and so it's a really good story. I would not change it for the world. As with everything else I've done in my life, I wouldn't change it for the world, because good or bad, it really did, make me the person I am, make me have the experiences that I had, kept my curiosity, kept my um my my spirit for life, like just my spirit for wanting to know the mysteries of life. Um, I'm a social scientist. And so, yes, like there were red flags. Yes, I did invest. Why? Because I'm a curious person. And if you can hold my attention like that, I want to get to the bottom of it, which I did. I completed my goal. He told me all about him for real. Our love had that. Like, I got him, I caught him. And that's, I arrested him. I love arrested him, pretty much. Or maybe I didn't, but I think I did. And that's why he confessed. And so you have to wonder why you would get into a relationship such as these. Well, as you're, moving through life and people are disappointing you, you're being betrayed here, you're being disappointed there, things aren't working out here. When a messenger comes to aid you in life like that, good or bad, it's good in the moment, and it's what you needed in the moment. And it was enough, and it was great. And so I had to write a story about it because it's kind of hilarious. And I was hurt. I mean, I'm not hurt anymore. I have to laugh and chuckle and smile and remember. And now it's been quite a while, so the feeling faded. I'm sure if I look on my messages and read through it again, because it's long, and if you read these messages, they're just so deep, and so it's just it's a great story, and so I just had to write it like that, and I'm just going to share my pretty little flower with you now. It's a little rose in a dish. Rose in a little crystal dish. Such a sweet smelling rose. That's how life is. Like, there's a sweetness to it, and then there's a bitterness to it too. But that rose has been floating in there for 3 days now, and it's still very lively. And anyway, I just wanted to give you a little background on Catfish, a love story. I know I've done a couple other videos on it, and let me know your experiences. Let me know why you think it's real, and if it is real, and what you're going through right now, and what are some of the signs. I mean, the signs are all there. They're all there. Sometimes you just don't want to look at those right now. You want to just do what you're doing, connect how you're connecting, meet how you're meeting, support who's supporting you, and call it a day and go to bed. Have your tea, I'm gonna have a cup of tea right now. It's a cool beginning of autumn season coming on. Me and my son could feel the air. We went on a walk and it was kind of cold, and it was like, ooh, here comes the autumn air. And my son loves the fall, it's his favorite. So he was so excited and clowning and joking and getting excited and playing, and we had fun. But anyway, thank you for listening, and I hope you buy my book, Catfish: A Love Story. It's coming out soon. Believe it or not, a lot of people are in catfish love stories right now, and they're with the person. So if that's you, please buy my book, and please keep up the curiosity. Keep moving through life and see what it shows you. See what it can do for you. Anyway, I love you. God bless you. Have a good night.